I'd like to take a moment, and I'm not going to take long here today, to read testimony from someone who actually is in the cattle business, who is in a business that not many of us here in this building can relate to. I'd like to read a bit of that testimony from this individual. The increased cost of LCFS will threaten the economic viability and continuity of our family ranch. Everything in our rural community requires extended distances for delivery, from fencing supplies to seed to fertilizer, plus the multitude of other inputs needed for efficient cattle production, even down to the groceries we buy. Today, this individual says, I traveled 324 miles to testify at this hearing. Distances of 150 miles are common for the movement of our cattle to pasture and delivery of our cattle and commodities. If LCFS is imposed, we'll have great difficulties. The financial margin of ranching operations is thin because of the risk of weather and tremendous capital outlays required, along with the exposure and volatility of the markets. The LCFS will most definitely diminish our chance at profitability and continuing economic stability. Already we endure the consequences of the current ethanol blend gasoline and biodiesel mixture. We cannot use E10 gasoline in our irrigation or small engine equipment, as the corrosive effects of the ethanol will ruin the engine components, which means downtime and expensive repairs. We currently have to special purchase ethanol-free gasoline, which at times can be $1 or more per gallon increase over regular ethanol-blended gas. Consider this. In November 2014, we experienced minus 15-degree weather. The current biodiesel mixture we have to use in our cattle feeding equipment gelled, and our diesel-powered tractors would not start or run. Only after a multitude of fuel filter changes and many hours of mechanical work with external heat applied, we were able to get our cattle fed. Well over 1,000 head of cattle were dependent on our ability to feed and take care of them through those terribly cold days. This is a responsibility of animal husbandry, and we take that very seriously. Now I'd like to take a moment to talk about a subject that is not extremely popular here. It was only a few days ago, colleagues, that we took the time to honor someone who had served this chamber selflessly for many, many years. In the course of those accolades, the love and respect for this place and the process was mentioned numerous times. And today we have an opportunity to show the same kind of love and respect for the legislative process. Colleagues, I'm sure that all of you honor this place, and I know that you feel privileged to serve here. Today we have the opportunity to keep this honor intact, and with the legislative process as well. When the heart of Senate Bill 324 became subject of federal suspicion, even mentioned by name in a federal subpoena, it seemed it was the perfect time to send this bill away. The perfect time. A new governor, a new way of doing business, cutting the ties to corporate cronyism, and getting rid of every appearance of wrongdoing. Restoring the public trust is a phrase that I heard. Restoring the public trust. What a beautiful aim and goal for all of us here in this chamber. But so far, it is a missed opportunity. But being an eternal optimist, I'm believing that many of you in your heart of hearts really want to restore public trust. And you know that this is a golden opportunity to do that. Colleagues, it does matter what it looks like as we do business in this building. News outlets all over Oregon have fulfilled their obligations to readers, viewers, and their hearers, trying to flag this body down on this issue. This is Oregon. This is not Illinois. This bill, like many around here, accentuates the urban-rural divide, and once again, rural Oregon gets an elbow to the side of the head.
Excuse me, Representative. Representative Fagan, for what purpose are you in the queue?
Madam Speaker, I would ask you to please advise the representative to please not impugn the motives of the entire body or of other members. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Wilson, you are skating close to being reprimanded. Please be careful.
Thank you. Bicycles, public transit, and electric cars are not big in a wide expanse of rural Oregon, and they never will be. Scores of aging internal combustion engines will continue to do the heavy lifting in feeding Oregon's residents, especially urban residents. Oregon farmers operate on a tight margin and are extremely sensitive to fuel price increases. These increased prices cannot be easily passed on to the consumer, most of them in the urban area. Urban dwellers, by comparison,
Excuse me,
have-
Representative, my apologies. Representative Hack yields her time. Please continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Urban dwellers, by comparison, have better roads generally to drive on and generally shorter distances to travel. They can rely on public transit, including trolleys, buses, and bicycles, and goodness knows, cowboy boots and bicycles don't mix, especially in rural Oregon. Oregonians know that the low-carbon fuel standard will drive up their fuel costs, and media outlet after media outlet has warned the public about that. This is one of those bills where you have to pass it to know what it does. And we're about ready to design another Da Vinci airplane, and I think we've done enough of that in Oregon lately. I hope you'll please vote no on Senate Bill 324A. Thank you, Madam Speaker.